Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Cardano, taking a look at the most recent price action with what I think is likely to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, check it out, linked in the description down below, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's also the first place that we go to notify you of everything that's going on in the crypto space. And so let's go ahead and follow on from the previous video, which was titled up Wow. I'm kind of still expecting a bit of a move to the downside in the last video, following from the crash video that we did the other day, where we can see this move to the downside, right? So we can got these labeled out down at the bottom here. I just wanted to kind of really make it really clear, because there's a lot of kind of noise in the comment sections that I see from time to time of you're always getting it wrong. So I wanted to kind of just put this out there to say that, yeah, sometimes the structures don't always follow exactly the patterns that you go on, but I'm going to start keeping track of when I post videos, put the little dates on here so you can kind of see where they are, and then we can always review where things went wrong and where things went well. It's always good to be able to reflect on those things, in my opinion. So we can see this video, for example, here on the 14th, we came down, we then obviously start to move back up again. I still think the macro direction here is to the downside, but do expect some volatility, hence the wow video. Likewise, we had the pump on this side. So with all that being said, we're going to put another line in this and we'll track today's video and see how that one does. But let's go ahead and jump down into the analysis, right? So following on from the last video, and get rid of some of these boxes off the side here, we were talking about a move down here towards 32.87 and 33.25. We can see that we're heading down in this range. We haven't quite tapped into this range just yet. I still think there's a little bit more room where we're likely to go ahead and drop into the range. Now, the count in how we got down here has actually changed. This is not the way that I was expecting to kind of end up down here, but it is an area that we are gravitating down towards, and it looks like we're going to be landing that one. I think we might actually have to kind of think about a move slightly deeper, but we'll see how this one plays out. Let's draw this down here. I'm just going to draw another yellow box. I'm just going to create a little bit of an overlap in this little range, because it could drop down into this little one just here. Okay, and it is a little bit deeper than we were maybe originally thinking. Let me see if I can just make this a little bit bigger here. It's basically between 32.8 and 32.39. We are talking minor differences, but you know, these are what it is. So let's go ahead and remove that. I'm going to leave those two boxes there. And basically that count doesn't have to go down that low. It's just a typical kind of retracement. It's typically where you find that C wave. However, if we were to reflect on this move over here from the high, and we move this over to our low, we end up in this area, right? And as I said, it's changed a little bit structure-wise. So I'm going to just overlap these two as they should be, which would be right down here. Okay, and this number is basically between 32.55 and 33.05. Okay, and then you can see that there's this little overlap between these two counts, which is where I think we're most likely and most probably, or at least we're stacking the odds, to find ourselves coming into. And okay, and so we're talking 32.55 through to the slightly higher range of 32.78. Okay, so we'll see how that kind of plays out. The other thing we have to bear in mind, though, is we've already met the minimum expectation. Okay, so these areas down here, although I'm scoping them out as potentials, these is no guarantee, right? It's not a guarantee that these waves have to go into these areas. The minimum expectation was to come down to a double bottom with our A wave, and we've already just hit that. Okay, not only that, we're also oversold on the hourly and the 4-hourly chart. So the reversal here is likely to occur. Okay, now that aligned with our kind of idea of what's going on this side allows us to kind of see where potential structure for a double top here, or maybe even to start this next move upwards. Okay, because we can see a potential move to that upward directional area, right? We can see that we have this 5-wave count, and if you start with 5, we must end in 5. Now it's possible that we finished this already with some kind of weird 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure here. Let me just draw this in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's possible that that's playing with some kind of diagonal structure right here at the end. And as unusual as that is, the other thing that we have to consider is all of that could just be a wave 1, and this retracement that we're currently in is our wave 2, meaning that we'd have a pretty significant run to the upside. Now, let me go ahead and try to anchor this correctly and draw this onto the lows. Okay, if we do come down into this overlapped area where our C waves are, then our next target should be 39.75. Okay, and it is a bit of a push to the upside, but you can kind of see it right in here. It would go 1, 2, It would come up here for this 3, then 4, then 5, and we'd still push up into that higher range where our supply zone is. This yellow box right up here. This is range between 41.51 and 43.31. Okay, that does not subtract from the fact that we are still in this bearish structure, because this would just be a zigzag pattern taking us into these highs, yet we would still be able to reflect on this as maybe a B wave move taking us down deeper. And like I said, it's not a guarantee that you move up in this particular pattern either. Okay, we have to consider other variables that start with wave 5s. Okay, and so we want to consider as many of these different options as possible, but give you the most probable scenario. So as the data stands today, at this point in time, I would say let's not focus on those higher moves just yet. Let's take this step by step. The first thing that we need to do is we need to come down into this zone, at least in my opinion, come down into this zone, finish off this C wave structure, and then start to see that move upwards. And we would be trying to track a 5-wave structure within it. Okay, that's kind of what we'd be looking for. The obvious issue here is that we end up with a zigzag pattern. Okay, and we do not have that move outside of this range. We stay inside here, and all we do is something to this effect, right? So there's always other variable options that we have to consider. Okay, but for now, we want to focus on just finishing off this little move to the downside so that we can get the reversal. And if we really, really wanted to trade something like this, then of course we'll go long at this entry point down here. We put our stop loss below our structure anchor point, which will be down at 31.57, and would go up towards maybe the local swing high, and we'll get about a 2.9 risk reward ratio from it. And if you are active trading and you're looking to kind of become an active trader, then why not sign up to 𝗕𝗘𝗪, linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic platform that uses spot trading or leverage trading, depending on how you want to operate. They've got some fantastic deals, such as the cashback offer at the moment, where you deposit $50 USDT and you get $10 USDT. They do bonuses and rewards all the way up to $8,000, depending on various different tasks and deposits that you do on the platform. And of course, they do some lucky draws at the moment as well. Above and beyond these things, if you do sign up to 𝗕𝗘𝗪 using the link in the description below, you'll also be able to enter into the Cheeky Crypto 𝗕𝗘𝗪 competitions, which we hold down in our Discord server, where we provide $100 USDT to the person who has basically traded the best ROI percentage within the 1-week period. This has just opened up for another competition this week. So again, we've got the countdown on how long this competition will last for. We can see the participants down here and how they're performing at the moment, and so forth. So if you're into trading and you kind of want to kind of get a better understanding of it, then why not join us down in Discord? There's a wealth of information and expertise down in the Discord server, so you can get a better idea as to kind of how to trade. If you're already trading, why not sign up to 𝗕𝗘𝗪, take advantage of the offers, and also take advantage of the trading competition that we're holding down in Discord as well. And yeah, that's kind of my approach to this one. Good risk reward ratios are absolutely vital when it comes to trying to trade. And if you're going to trade Elliott Wave theory, you're really just looking for swing trade opportunities. On the minor timeframes like this, it's a little bit harder. On the larger timeframes, it's a little bit easier, and all that kind of stuff. So let's move on to smart money concepts. What smart money concepts telling us? Well, we are bullish. We had the change of character to the upside here. So we can see here that we changed our characteristic from bearish to bullish as we kind of moved up in March 13th. Okay, so we can kind of see that. Now, we haven't changed anything here to the downside, and we haven't got a break of structure to the upside either. We can see that we are hovering around equilibrium, and we are also on an internal buy order block right down here as well. So we know that this is likely to be an area of support. Not only was this area previously tested, it is also an area that is being tested right now. And historically is also an area that we consolidated on. You can see that over here we had a lot of resistance from previous support levels. And if we were to come down towards that 32-cent level, then we can see that we are testing the same area of previous resistance, maybe turning it into support. So if that need to come down a little bit deeper is there, we can see that there's good obvious areas of support to be had as well. Although we're ultimately hoping to hold structure, and so we can continue this move to the upside. We've got a strong low, so we're not expecting to break this low. So as I said, if we were to trade this, we're going to basically think about where we're going to put our stop loss and how high we think things are likely to go, and make sure that we have a good risk reward ratio. So from a smart money concepts, if I was to trade this, I would be looking slightly differently here. I would be looking at a couple of different things. I would be basically making sure that my stop loss was down at these lows. So I'd be going long, and I would probably be looking at kind of coming down into the slightly deeper ranges, probably around 33.21 or something to that effect. Put my stop loss just below that strong low area, and then looking to come up above that week high. We do have this high up here, so I would be targeting out that one, and again I'll be looking at about a risk reward ratio of 2.12. so you can see how Elliott Wave theory has one approach to this, and you can also see that Smart Money Concepts has another. And so again, if you're looking to trade it, that's kind of how I would approach it. We also have to bear in mind though that we have got this fair value gap down here, so come back down and fill out that gap, that imbalance in the order books could also be something that we see here with Cardano. So that's why it's important to make sure we have a good stop loss. This one I think has to come back down later. Not sure when that's going to happen, but yeah, we've got this one down here at 30 cents. So it's an interesting one that we want to be aware of. It's always possible that we come back down and fill this sooner than expected, but for now I'm not expecting it to come down right away. From our daily chart, we can see that we do have that upper area of resistance. We've tapped into this once already. This is basically 40.23 to 44.83. I would be concerned here, or my biggest concern here, is that we should be thinking about a bigger corrective structure here, so that we can have a bigger bullish structure at a later date going up here. Okay, now I don't think it's really wise for us to do something like this, because I think that's going to be shorter lived. I think it's much better to kind of get things well positioned, so that we can have a much bigger kind of play to the upside later. This is pretty impulsive to start with, and then goes off into this triangular area. I am concerned over this recent ending structure over here. It's very peculiar. It would make this look like a complete diagonal of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but when wave 3 fails on us. So I'm not liking that structure as an impulsive trend setter. So I don't think that's really what's going on there. I think there's an impulsive structure here, probably like a zigzag, like a double zigzag potential in there. So keeping a close eye on how we kind of react next, because we do have this impulsive structure coming down, and it's a lot better on the way down here than it was on the way up. So keep an eye on that. I think there's a little bit more turbulence to be seen. My expectations though are that we will potentially just move up a fraction before we actually move on down. And I think that's very apparent here from our Elliott Wave theory side of things. We can see that on this kind of bigger structure as well. So all of this being corrective in here, and then of course we'll be looking for that bigger move to the upside. And then of course from there, if we zoom further out, we can see it's all quite negative on the larger time frame. So we can see that we're overbought on the daily, for example, but oversold on the smaller time frame. So small moves upwards, but ultimately the macro direction is down in my opinion. I'm going to leave the video there. If you did find this useful and informative, smash that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, check it out, linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day. We are not financial advisors. None of what we have communicated verbally or in writing here should be considered as financial advice. It is not. Do your own research before investing in any digital asset or affiliate offers, and understand that investing in any crypto is risky. If you do, you need to be prepared to lose your entire investment. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. All our videos are strictly personal opinions. Please make sure you do your own research and never take our opinions for financial guidance. There are multiple strategies, and not all strategies fit all people. Our videos are not financial advice.